it's like a little bit blurred. Hold on. Is it supposed to be like that? Okay. Well, I don't know what's going on with the camera here. But thank you for watching here on TikTok Live. I mean, YouTube at Blooming Light. So, since it's late, I'm whispering. Not that I need to whisper anything like that. I'm just being silly. So I wanted to come on to the YouTube. I did a live on TikTok already. So for the TikTok audience, I've already let them know. I may do a short over there since they can't replay it. So you all are not going to see me as often, okay? And I just want to put that out there in advance. You will see me. I'm going to make sure that I'm visible so that those of you who actually care about me and my son and our well-being, I will, you know, still poke my face out here and there so y'all can know that we're okay. Okay. So for the next 3 months, you all aren't going to see me that often. I will be doing lots of reposting in terms of things that I feel like are relevant, okay, to keep y'all going. Okay. And if you do see me, it's going to be something on a lighter note, just to like poke my face in so y'all can know, yes, I'm okay. Yes, my son's okay. And we'll be having some fun and chit chatting and shooting the breeze. It won't be anything serious unless I feel guided. And it's going to have to be something that's maybe of vital importance to be put out there. But I'm really intending to not do that so that now here's why. I have a lot of things in the making, and some of y'all do too. Okay, and a part of the process is knowing and recognizing your own seasons and how you need to allocate your own energy, so that you can be better in position to do whatever this is that you're doing. And so that's what I'm doing over the next few months. So I will be doing lots of meditation, lots of healing, grounding, lots of all of the modalities I use and talk about, but I'll be doing it more amplified for me and my son. So I'll be investing in a lot of that. Okay. And then there's a lot of footwork that I have to do. There's so many changes happening. It's going to require a lot from me. So I'm trying to like really get myself good and strengthened. And a part of that is pulling my energy back. Okay. And so you will see my face here and there for those of y'all who care, just so you know, like she's okay, he's okay, ain't no weirdy things going. But I won't be doing the readings. I won't be doing the serious stuff. I will only be reposting stuff that might be relevant since my readings and my teachings are timeless. Okay. Also, is for the purposes of seclusion. Okay. Many of you are similar to myself, and you also know that you have lots of weirdy energies for different various reasons. And since that's the case, there's a little bit of a pullback, okay? At least for the next, season here, a few months for what's in the makings, okay? What else? What else? What else? On my TikTok live last, I did give some final, what I call final guidance for the holidays. Okay, for you know, lots of folks celebrate the holidays all over the world. You might not. You know what I'm saying? You might not make it a big deal, but most of the collective, human consciousness, they're big time into it, and a lot of folks, that's just some a little bit more than others. Okay, they will rob a bank to have a big Christmas. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate, okay? And then many of you have haters. You have people sore losers, you have haters, you have just and people that are not all there. And I'm not trying to say that in a funny way right now. I'm just saying, people who aren't used to the word no. Okay, they're not used to no. They're not used to people having boundaries. They're not used to people asserting themselves. They're not used to being able. And when you are not falling in line with all of that, then it's all hell break loose. And some of them are willing to commit all sorts of crimes. You know what I'm saying? Because they're upset. You know what I'm saying? So, hold on one second. Oh, okay. So, here's what I'm advising, you know, and if this fits you, especially if you've been a victim of identity theft, okay, from your own people to people you've dated to corrupt businesses, you know what I'm saying, and one thing and another, because people do exploit their positions. That's why I'm always saying not everybody should be a leader. And I'm going to stand on that to the end of days. Not everybody should be a leader because of that type of stuff. You give them a little bit of power and they run with it, okay? And they violate, you know, vulnerable populations, and they'll use that against people that they don't like, okay? And so with that being said, you know, you can't, there's no surefire way to make sure 100, but you can minimize it. So I highly recommend shut down all, you know, if you know they have access to your credit cards, your debit cards, accounts, and so forth, shut them down. Get some new ones, okay? Hopefully you're getting it. Don't send it to a place where they got access before you. I mean, I don't know how that works, but get new cards. Pay your bills, you know what I'm saying, as quickly as you can if you have to pay online and pull your money out of these accounts, because, you know, criminal activity gets heightened during the holidays. And whoever your haters are, that's what they're waiting for, okay? Especially those that are having financial hardships, you know, for whatever their reasons are, okay? And for even shit, to be honest, hell, even if they ain't, because in some cases it don't even matter, even if they're not having financial hardships, okay? Just because there's some people just don't want you to be able to go on, I promise you. So they feel like if they can't stop you, then they can't sabotage you necessarily all the way, or you won't sabotage yourself, or they can't altogether block something, then one of the other alternatives to that is to steal from you. Because if they steal from you, then you can't, you whatever this is you're doing, you know, if they gank a brother or a sister for their papers, huh? Then how you gonna do what you're trying to do? You see that? How you gonna do? How you gonna do? Even though it puts them, you know, it puts them in a very bad place, because I mean, illegal. Okay, but they don't care. You know, people with that type of mind, they don't care because they think they've done this all their lives and they don't get caught. Nothing ever happens to them, blah, 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 and blase, blase. Unfortunately, some of them are going to get some interesting surprises possibly by the time this year ends. But why put yourself, let's alleviate, a part of the next few months is alleviate as much unnecessary BS and take your power back. And a part of that is cracking any ounce, any way that they can just push a number or push a button and take your money. Try to be vigilant, you know. So stay on top of your stuff so that they're not finding, you know, kind of penny any ass excuses, you know, folks out there to try to find ways to, I'm going to tack that on as a prize. I'm going to find all these creative, because some people, again, when you deal with shysters that are in business and they are pissed because they cannot stop you from your free will. You know, to me, it's the saddest thing I've ever heard. Like, wow, that lets you know the mental state of people for real. For real. But, you know, because they can't altogether, so that's another route. Okay? So let's just nip it in the butt. And so we have to move some of the distractions too, because guess what? The distractions is also what can kind of get us off kilter. We're human. That happened to me. Listen, that happened to me um, last year around this time. Well, maybe last year at the end of this month and then around the first few months of this year. Okay. And banking on you being off kilter, you being kind of pulled in all these directions, frazzled, distraught. And these are ways also they can hope that you miss an opportunity, or you see that because you're not clear, you're dealing with all these things. So when we decide, okay, I'm going to shut this down, I'm going to reallocate my focus, because me doing this is going to also strengthen me, which means I'm going to have more power, more clarity, more ease in tapping in, so that I'm being constantly divinely guided, and I'm not frazzled, I'm not rushed, so I'll be able to catch a lot quicker the subtle things that come in as a sidewinder ball, right? That's just the way it is when we're going through major. I hear a lot of other people say this. When you're breaking plateaus in your life, when you are getting free from people who were trying to entrap you into their own, the crabs in the bucket for their own purposes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what that's all about. Then these energies, and I just have to say energies, because sometimes I don't know if all the people, being honest, I don't know if all of them are really truly consciously aware that they're ran by something else. Because if they were ever to sit down and reason, they wouldn't be able to make sense of it. That's how I started learning a lot about some stuff. Because if it's like when I sat down and just, if I just gave myself some space and just got out of my emotion and whoop, could be because I have a lot of air. To be fair, my moon placement is air. So, but, it's like, okay, so what's your problem? Okay, now that you're here, so what's the real one? Not the one that you saying and you're all in a thither and a, okay, now that you're here, what is your problem? Why are you driven to blah, 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 blah? And a lot of people just don't do that because they're too lazy or they don't feel the need to, right? But it don't matter for someone like me, whether people are consciously aware of that or not. At the end of the day, I take my power. And a part of that is recognizing these tactics to keep me upset, keep me angry, keep me distraught, keep me, you know, doing too much. Because I'm like a machine. And I will say that. I am. I'm like a fucking machine. But that's because of the life I've experienced. And I sort of had to become that. And then since I've had people, starting with my own bloodline, hell bent on trying to ruin my life, that also increased my machinery ways. Like, I'll be damn, motherfucker. Nah, nigga. Not this time, motherfucker. Not this time, motherfucker. Huh? You know? Shit. I'm on one. I was like, I don't think so, bitch. As a matter of fact, all them things, hope y'all ready for. Because all them things you done did, tied to me and my son, guess what? I have ordered to be tied to your ass. Yes, I did. 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 So y'all get y'all little nice little turny turn. Little turny turn and having that thing on ya. See how you like it. Let's see how you survive. Ah. See, it's a whole nother ball game when you got to sit under it. It's easy when you're hiding behind your little coven. It's easy then. You know what I'm saying? You hiding behind that, strip that shit. Oh, another ball game. Cause see now, you got to feel all that, baby. You got to experience that. Now, how you gonna roll, huh? Anyway, let me come back. Let me come back. So I won't be here that much, y'all. Y'all not gonna see me. I'm just gonna be reloading, uploading. I'll pop my face in for those who care, because I know there's at least about two people, bitch, in the universe. Okay, that ain't altogether a nut. That actually care for the well-being of me and my son. So for them, I will make sure in these 3 months that I'm popping my face in just to chit chat and say hello on lives, but I won't be spending a lot of time, and I won't be doing any readings and any major teachings. Okay, I'll simply be reposting unless it's something pressing. If there's something like some weird shit and the world needs to know, you know, and my ops and stuff and yo ops, I'd be like, go gadget nigga, there they dumbass. And I'm gonna pop off, right? That's gonna be so it'll be known like, oh, that's what they up to. This is what they're doing. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Um, What else? I think I covered everything. Shut them credit cards down. Get some new ones. Pull your money out your account. Don't be telling people shit. Don't let nobody use your ATM card. I don't care if it is your relative. No. Right now, everybody's suspect. That's the way I feel. And if you're a part of the collective that's been dealing with the same types of stuff, you know why I'm saying that. Okay? Because sometimes people just don't want you progressing. And it's always the people that you would least expect. People that are more comfortable you shaking a tin can. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're comfortable with, that version of you. They're comfortable with watching you suffer and struggle and beg and be pitiful, and you know what I'm saying? It's sad. People act like that's not what they own, but then it's fascinating when it's time for you to be liberated and free and to elevate and all these things. All of a sudden, everybody looking constipated as fuck. All of a sudden, things are a challenge. When when you was pitiful and looking like, and some people need you to stay there so they can feel like they were right about whatever it is they want to be right about. And that it's a sense of having control, and it's a sense of, for some of you, it's their vengeance, and others of you, it's simply so that they don't feel challenged about themselves. So if they can keep you in a low vibration, if they can keep you in the bucket of crabs, if they can keep you in a loop of this is it, capped out, I'm just gonna eat shit and fuck, and that's it, and then I'm gonna die. And then I'm gonna die. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just walk in a circle, eating and buying shit, and that's it. And okay. And guess what? Ain't nothing wrong with that for those who want that. See, y'all thought I was judging it. Nope. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And it's nobody's business to tell folks what they should want. Where people are okay with that, that's fine and dandy. They have a right to be. The problem is that that crabs in the bucket shit. When other people don't feel that way and doing everything they can to evolve, and I'm not just talking about reaching for the riches either. Plenty of people doing that right here, by any means necessary, theft included. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying a higher way of living, a different way of life, a different experience. Some people okay with what they already know. And instead of understanding that not everybody is, they try to keep you locked right there. You know? Some people just want to torture you. There's so many reasons, y'all. So take command. You have to take command. And a part of that is reassessing and making changes. Report things. See, one of the things that's throwing off my ops is I'm changing the game constantly. And I will be doing that for the next few months. But also, I'm in this whole red witch energy. Just discovered this a few days ago. Which means it's the dark feminine. And it's not toxic, but it is defined as the dark divine feminine, which means it's more veracity to it. It's command. It's no longer, people pleasing. It's none of that. It's being very, very bold. But, it requires a lot of energy for that. A lot of energy. So what I'm doing is observing a lot more than I ever have. And I'm not going to let nobody intimidate me otherwise. See, I used to be the kind of person where it's like, I never really have wanted to bother anybody. And I thought that if you have that attitude and people knew you had that attitude, then they mind they sorry ass business. But that's kind of not the way it's been working. They look at it as you must be weak or scared. And so since I've come to understand that now, I'm like, well, I have to shut that off for now so that folks can know that, no, dear, I'm just smart. That's all. That's all. But just like anyone else walking around, I have a right to observe and watch. And it's funny how the watchers don't like being watched. I think it's fascinating. And so I'm like, okay, I'm learning, I'm peeping game. I'm peeping environments. I'm watching movement. I'm doing the same thing they're doing. But quiet, just quiet. Because I still don't go up to people necessarily. You know what I mean? I only did that the other day. But as normal, no, I do not. I don't go up to people. People typically will come up to me or say something to me, but I don't. And I'll just say, I'm noticing a lot of interesting things. When I tell y'all that the world, these businesses, these governments, these organizations, and these companies, and how they try to, punk you and bully you and all this stuff, even the people that they get to, the weak minds that they get to participate in their bullshit. When you step back and absorb, I'm sorry, when you sit back and observe and absorb, right? You sit back and you watch. Quiet. You're going to notice that there's a whole lot of activity around you that if there was anything people needed to be concerned for, it's right there in plain sight. And because you're going to get to observe it, it's going to let you know that some of the bullshit that people be on is just that bullshit. Because I've seen some interesting shit. Y'all heard me say the other day, like, it'll be one thing if, disturbing the peace. Like, what are some of the common things in businesses or in neighborhoods and some stuff is even those in the fancy schmancy areas with homes and where there's homeowners associations and neighborhood watch and those types of things, typically in those places it's about traffic. Some of the things that brings them to alert is there's a high foot traffic, the time of night that it is, what kind of activity it is. So they're looking at all of these things pertaining to the neighborhood, right? Is there drugs? Is there, it's the safety of children. And so it's very, very, kind of like, okay. But as you all observe, some places you're going to discover nobody actually even care about none of that. Nobody don't care. Ain't nobody, even the people that's on, I call them the hall monitors. Like, they not observing that. That's why I laugh every day. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, right. Okay. So this high traffic, kind of thuggadocious activity with the, late hour in and out a trillion times over, smoke, it's like, ew. And I'm not talking about cigarettes, I'm talking about the other kind where you got to put your face on your shirt or your arm because it's like pungent. It's like, pah! They ain't worrying about none of that. And ain't none of the hall monitors gonna say nothing about that. Promise you they not. Because ain't nobody worrying about it. They're not worried. You know, you can even see it. Like, just start paying attention. You can even see it. You see it in selections. It's like, okay, down where it's like this, down where this motherfucker came in. They came in the office with the owners on skunk status, and you sign the paperwork. So it be bullshit. People stand out in balconies and all sorts of shit to watch. I wish I can say I was the weight I want to be, but I'm not the weight that I want to be yet, so I'm not going to tell y'all that. But, since I'm losing weight, my whole point is, some small, regular size. I ain't small either. It's like too much junk in the trunk and too much shit happening here. But, yeah, that's why I'm like, ain't nobody dumb. Ain't nobody dumb. People sitting in cars at the way night hour. And that's cool, right? It's like, well, people can do that. Exactly. But so, yeah. And as I've been observing a lot, I'm observing people observing me, and I'm watching their movement too. Like, some of them will peep out their window. What is this? Like, they peep out their window. And I'm like, okay. So I turn around because I'm bold now. I'll just turn around like, shit. And then they go in or come back out. I'm like, wow. So, you know, it's fun. It's fun. But I did that on purpose too. It's like, yeah, ain't gonna put me in no trying to put my son and us in some kind of some imprisonment. I'm like, yeah, I'm busting some shit up, niggas. They done lost their damn mind. They gonna regret this one. They gonna regret it. So take care of yourself too, okay? Get on your get up. Be selective. Y'all know what's going on. You know what it is. It is what it is. Protect yourself. Report things. And that's like, I think that's where I was going. I got off track. But, because, wanting to keep the peace and stuff. But grown folks like this is no different than the bullies we faced in high school, in junior high school, in grade school. They're no different. They're just, unfortunately, old, dusty niggas and bitches still acting like that. And just like the bullies of school, until you address the issue, okay, because we're not talking about getting into unnecessary tussles if you don't have to, because that's what they want for you. They want to reduce you to their frequency. They want you to go back and forth, and they are hoping that you would do all of that so that maybe you can even get caught up so that you would be the one to go to jail. You see that? But also just to keep your frequency down, just to keep you, vibing where they at. Instead of where we want our energy to be, and that ain't it. So, addressing things as we need to, the best way we need to, which is, you may not want to be one to go through because it's a hassle to have to keep all the records of stuff, and because you're trying to make sure you're doing it as accurately as you can, but keep all the records and then submit it and all that stuff. But that's sometimes is needed, because if something were to happen or whatever, there's a trail on motherfuckers. So because people out here that's just wilding the fuck out, then it's a trail. Because that's harassment. If it's all designed simply just to harass you, just to annoy you and all that stuff, write it down, log it, keep it, whatever this is. So that way you just have stuff, if it's the phone, whatever, you have stuff to give when you're submitting your reports. You have something. It's not just hearsay. You have, stuff. Is it the video recording? Is it the, phone log? Is it, you have stuff to back up and say, this is happening daily. Here you go. Because some of us might have to get restraining orders. And one of the best ways to be able to do that is you have a trail that has been created of indirect, direct harassment, because a lot of this is what these people are doing. They're not really as bold. They're not as bold. Stalking by proxy. They hide off in the woods somewhere and they send their niggas, their niggas and their bitches. Right? And somebody call your phone, 20 times and shit. And every time you go live, it's weird. Very weird. So you keep it. And then you tell them your suspicions. I had to do that when I was in Las Vegas. I didn't want to do it because I was like, well, how do you go? What do you do? What do you do with that? So I was just like, fuck it. So y'all can tell them your suspicions and shiznit. It's gonna get to the hopefully get to the right people. Because at least they can investigate it. And then you just keep on keeping on. Okay, get your security up on tilt, change up your routine, change up your route. For those of y'all who have vehicles, change up your route. Okay, y'all know that they're patterning you, so change it. If you know they've been violating or taking advantage of your situation, and using their little raggedy friends, to report this and that and tell them when you're doing this and when you're doing that and all that and shit. So change up the game. It may be uncomfortable, it may be inconvenient, but this is how you take back power and control, though. As much as you can, to the degree in which you can. Okay? Because people trying to, plot and do all sorts of shit. Okay, are they over there? Oh, did they schedule this? And so, yeah, no, they're going to have to work a little bit harder for it now. They're going to work a little bit harder. And that's how we want it. Okay? That's it, y'all. Find a way to have some fun during these next few months. Okay? Season of closing out things. A season of closing out, pruning the last, cleansing, closing out, cleansing, closing out. A lot of reflective healing, closing out. Right? And that's equally productive. Sometimes we only think we're productive if we're doing, getting, buying, shopping, getting, doing, buying, going. Like sometimes that's the society of the Western world, though. I call it busy nothingness. Can we stop and smell the roses? Can't do that fighting with scallywags all the time. Can we stop and smell the roses? Can't do that when we're overly taxed out, too much so. I know, if you're anything like me, there was a part of you that's like, I'll be damned. I ain't in nothing. You know what I'm saying? Shit. I don't tell anyone to me shit. I get that. Respect. I tilt my hat off to that. Respect. That's how you put them in line. But it can also work against us in a sense of when it's time for us to replenish, when it's time for us to pour in the beautiful energy, because we deserve that equally so. We have nothing to prove, and you may have to remind yourself that. You have nothing to prove to these scallywags. You have nothing to prove to even people who are not a scallywag. Okay? We don't have anything to prove. Giving it all you got, and a part of giving it all we've got is knowing when it's time to allow a little bit more resting, rejuvenation, fun, pleasure, less fighting with people that's going to be a narc by the time you long gone. They're a narc now, and they're going to be one when you long gone. They're going to be at the same place, the same space, up to the same bullshit. So what's the point? What's the point? Let people be. Most of us, that's all we try to do. We try to do, let people be, but our existence is just a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. It's a problem for people. Anything shy of, not being their slave or their flunky or their punching bag or something to get their jollies and rocks off on, you know what I'm saying? And that just ain't what this is. They had us fucked up. We just look this way.